All right, so last night is more so what you would call your traditional debate, rather than that colossal disaster that we had last week at the presidential debate. My goodness, what was that? Last night, there was more civility. The politicians allowed each other to speak more so without that many interruptions. There were interruptions here and there, but at least somebody could articulate their points and make sense of something before getting interrupted. So that was a good thing to see. But whenever you solve one issue, another arises. And what's that? Man, these politicians were not answering any questions. More so Mike Pence than Kamala Harris. But if they're not answering questions, what's the point of having a debate? So I'm gonna start off with Vice President Mike Pence. So the moderator would ask this guy a question, right? And instead of him answering the question, he'll just tiptoe around it and go back and answer a previous question or respond to something that Kamala Harris said 5-10 minutes ago. He'll just come back and talk about that. And the thing is, politicians tend to do this a lot during debates. But last night it was so blatant and so obvious that I had people that don't really care about politics calling me talking about, hey, am I missing something, or is he just ignoring all the questions? Mike Pence did this numerous times throughout the night. Kamala did a couple times too. I'm gonna get to her. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to her. Well, I'm just gonna make up an example to give y'all. So let's just say the moderator asked him, so Mike Pence, is the sky blue? Yes or no? Mike Pence would be like, actually, this is the answer. Kamala Harris wants to raise taxes. And he would just go and bring up something that did not relate to the question at all throughout the whole night. And then the moderator, Susan Page, would just let it go. She would then ask Kamala the same question. She'll then ask Kamala, is the sky blue or whatever. Like, the moderator, I blame her more than I blame Pence. He's the politician. What do you have to do? You have to hold the politician's feet to the fire and ask him that question. Follow up and be like, is the sky blue? Just for example, right? So yeah, that was a big issue. And I feel like most people that watched it at home were like, bro, come on, answer the question, bro. Come on, like just answer the question.
Come on, man.
Kamala Harris did have her own fair share of tiptoeing around questions as well. I remember last night, this one in particular, Mike Pence asked Kamala, are you and Joe Biden going to try to pack the courts? And Kamala seemed kind of caught off guard. She seemed like she wasn't prepared for that question, and she didn't have an answer ready, which was quite surprising. But other than that, I think that she did pretty well in the debate. In my opinion, Kamala is the winner of this debate, and many polls have reflected the same thing. She had the better lines the whole debate. She had confidence. She stood there. She did not attack him unwarranted, but she drilled it to Mike Pence a lot throughout the debate and had Mike Pence on the defensive, especially in the beginning of the debate. And there were two really good lines that Kamala gave last night that I feel struck with a lot of voters at home. The first one is whenever she said,
if you have a pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you.
And the reason I thought that line was so good is because right now we're in a pandemic. Millions of Americans have lost their jobs. As a result, they lost their health care because your health insurance is tied to your job. So millions of Americans are already out of a job and don't have health insurance, which is very sad. And even during the same period that the Trump administration has done a bad job in handling this pandemic, they're actively trying to dismantle Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act that gave millions of Americans health insurance and also covered pre-existing conditions. So your health insurance cannot drop you if you have a pre-existing condition. So that line is going to resonate with so many Americans, whether you're on Medicare or you have private insurance and you don't want to lose your insurance because you have a pre-existing condition. So yeah, I feel like that was a really good line and she delivered it very well. The other line that I really like from her is when she said, Joe Biden saved the auto industry and you voted against it, Vice President Pence. And man, Pence didn't have anything to say after that. That was a zinger for sure. Because Barack Obama and Joe Biden did save Detroit, did save the auto industry in Michigan, did save the auto industry at large. They bailed them out. And many people were against it back then. But had they not bailed out the auto industry, a large segment of our economy and a lot of jobs would have been lost. And many Americans would have been unemployed. So you got to give credit where credit's due. So yeah, in my opinion, those two lines won Kamala the debate for sure. And the polls reflect it. Even though Mike Pence did not win the debate, he still didn't do that bad. He held his own for sure. One thing that he did very well is he controlled the conversation for a large period of time. In the very beginning, Kamala put Pence on his heels because she was drilling him about the pandemic and Pence and Trump's response to the pandemic. And Pence had no answer because there's no good answer for how they responded. It was abysmal. It was terrible. But after they got off that topic, Pence started just hitting her with conservative policies that still are liked in America at the moment. And then he put her in a tight position when it came to the Green New Deal. He said, you co-sponsored it, but Joe Biden's against it. So which one is it? And that makes it kind of tough right there. Kamala didn't really have an answer. She avoided that question. So this is where she was avoiding questions again. So yeah, like Pence, he did really good at controlling the narrative and controlling what the debate was about. So you have to give him credit for that. Who was the biggest loser from this debate? for sure is the moderator, Susan Page. She allowed Pence to railroad her. Pence was answering questions. Kamala did this a couple times as well. But as the moderator, you ask a question, right? American people are expecting an answer from the politicians. So if they don't do it, you keep their foot to the fire and force them to answer the question. That's what she should have done. And she didn't do it, and it kind of ruined the utility of the debate. We're listening to it in a debate to understand where the politicians lay on the issues. We're not listening to it just to hear them talk rubbish and look pretty and all that. No, we don't care about that. We're coming here for information, for substantive talks, substantive information. And Susan Page should have done better on that. One last question you can ask is, will this debate kind of, sway the outcome of the election? And I don't think so. I think it's going to keep it where it's at. Joe Biden's already up about 10% right now. This debate was just more so for Kamala and Pence to just show that they can hold their own on the national stage. And they may end up being possible nominees for their parties in the future, whether it's 2024 or 2028. Pence is like 61, Kamala's in her 50s, so they're fairly young people. And you can see that they'll be on the national stage for sure in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe. Check out my older video right here from last week where I covered the presidential debate. So check out my analysis and recap and reaction. Check that out. So yeah, just make sure to subscribe because there may be another presidential debate as of today. The one on October 15th might not happen because Trump is pulled out due to the fact that he doesn't want to do a virtual debate. But the guy is sick right now with that disease that y'all know about. So we don't know what's going to happen. The one on the 22nd, who knows what's going to happen. So just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss nothing. And follow me on Twitter at CallMeJRE. Thank you guys for joining me today. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, take care. God bless y'all. See y'all later.